Yo, what is up, YouTube? This is the Mermail Master coming at you with a special deck profile for Team Time Rider's hopefully newest member, Mr. Christopher Quinn, otherwise known as the Roma Pride. You saw the preview of this video up as one of our bloopers, but now I thought I'd finally get into the deck profile to show you what we're dealing with here. So, Chris is actually going to be building an Ojama deck, and we suggested for him to institute a couple of Raccoons in the deck. So pretty soon he's going to be picking up this deck, and he's going to be starting his journey on the path to building those Ojamas. But the reason I wanted to profile this Raccoon deck is because I originally built it as something that was inspired by a guy named Matt at my locals. Now, this guy, if you didn't know him, actually believed that he was REIJI Akaba from the Arc V series. So he'd come in and he'd do the full Japanese, blah 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 all through, and he would always play a Raccoon deck. So I thought he was gonna bust out DDDs when I first played him, but he just busted out this Raccoon deck instead, and he still got his ass kicked, but it gave me an idea that okay, there's this stupid ass kid who's trying to build Raccoons with that twist. So I said, why don't I make a REIJI Akaba twist on this Raccoon deck and create a deck that can fusion, synchro, and XYZ. And so that is this deck. So without further ado, let me get into the deck profile and I'll show you some of my choices. I want you to keep in mind that this deck is not going to be like your normal Raccoon decks. It's more of a casual variant, not the variant that's up for competitiveness, but the fun factor on this is off the charts. So yeah, gonna start off. So the first card that I'm gonna start off with is 3 copies of Baby Raccoon Tantan. He is your main monster that you want to open up with. You just set him on the field, and then when he is flip face up, he gets a special summon a beast type monster. And there are a lot of beast type monsters that you want to special summon that I'll show you, but he just basically opens up all of your plays. It is a little bit bad that you have to set him first turn, but he's still a fantastic card, and you can't run him at any less than 3. 3 copies of Baby Raccoon Pompoko. I like this slightly less than Tantan, mostly because he's really not that, good. Because what you do is, when you summon him onto the field, he basically says to your opponent, oh, I'm playing Raccoons, so it's like that. But he's still a level 2 target, so very, very good card to have. Now, the next card we're playing is 3 copies of Key Mouse. Now, Key Mouse's effect allows you, whenever he's destroyed by battle, to select 1 level 3 or lower beast type monster and add it from your deck to your hand. So it just basically fetches pretty much everything in this deck that you'll see. So there is Key Mouse. Fine card. And what would Key Mouse be without 3 copies of Lock Cat? Lock Cat's effect, when he's normal summoned to the field, special summons 1 level 1 beast type monster. So the basic thing is you get Key Mouse, flip face up, search Lock Cat, and then Lock Cat can summon and special summon Key Mouse back to the field, go into a level 4 Synchro Monster. And there's really no restrictions on what you can go into, so I think it's kind of cool to have Lock Cat in here at 3. And then, of course, 1 copy of Chain Dog. When you control 2 beast-type monsters, you can just special summon this dude from the graveyard. So I think the basic tendency here was to use Key Mouse, Lock Cat, and Chain Dog interchangeably to become a level 8 Synchro Monster. But it's a really interesting kind of series of cards, and they were released in 3 different packs: Shining Darkness, Duelist Revolution, and Starstrike Blast. So it it's just kind of an interesting little thing that Konami decided to do. Then the next card, what would this beast deck be without 3 copies of Junk Synchron? Now, this is your single-handed playmaker in the deck. He is one of your best tuners, gets back any of your level 2 beast type monsters, activate their effects, or synchro into whatever you want pretty much. And on the plus side, he's also a dark monster. So I currently don't have the monsters with me, but In this extra deck, I run 1 copy of Frozen Fitzgerald and 1 copy of Z-Man the 8 King, both of which need a Dark Tuner, and Junk Synchron fits that perfectly. Yeah, the reason I'm running them, they're not really that good cards, but this, as I said, like, this is a very fun kind of casual deck, and you know, if your opponent sees Z-Man the 8 King, like, I mean, you know, it's gonna be pretty amazing. You're gonna get some props for that. Next cards I got in here are 2 Kalantosa, Mystical Beast of the Forest. This is the guy that you probably want to get with Tantan, because Kalantosa, when he's special summoned by the effect of a beast type monster, you get to pop a card on the field. So like, it's just fantastic. And when this card was released, like it just changed the outcome of Raccoons. 2 copies of Koala. Now I actually like this card a lot because decreasing your opponent's monsters to 0 actually helps all of your guys get over them. So it's very, very helpful in effect. And he's 1/2 to a certain fusion monster, which I'm sure you'll be able to understand the name of once you see the next card, and that is 1 copy of Tree Otter. I only like to have Tree Otter in here at 1 because first of all, he's the other half, and then second of all, his effect is actually pretty dang good. Once per turn, he can increase the attack of 1 other beast type monster on the field by 1,000. So the basic play that you make is you special summon Tree Otter some way, or normal summon it, increase the attack of a beast type monster on the field, and then when Ronin, Raccoon, Sandeu creates a token, that token can take on the upgraded attack of that monster. So even when the attack boost ends, you know, you still, like, you know, 2200 monster goes up to 3200, and then Ronin Raccoon can make a 3200 token. Even when that attack boost ends, the 3200 token stays because it takes a snapshot of what the monster was at that time. So Tree Otter is really good for like boosting up attack powers. And I kind of like the fact that it's a sea koala instead of a tree koala, and a tree otter instead of a sea otter. So kind of cool. 1 copy of REIJI Sorn Hunter, pretty self-explanatory. Set this with Baby Raccoon Pompoko and just flip it face up and blow up a monster or something. Fabled Serval, he's in here as the Fable Tuner. We do run Fabled Unicor in the extra deck, and it's a fantastic card, so Fabled Serval being in here is absolutely necessary. And he's great at 1 in the deck, because when he's discarded to the graveyard by any kind of card effect, he just special summons himself back. 1 copy of Wind Up Kitten for bouncing stuff. If you can, your opponent just has 1 Tantan on the field, you can just grab Wind Up Kitten, bounce something, and then go into an XYZ. Next, for the next card, we have the Earth Hexseal Fusion. Now this is how we go into the Fusion monster, because I do play Obedience Schooled in the deck, which special. So the basic play is to just go activate Obedience School, special summon the 3 beast type effect monsters, and then you normal summon Earth the Hexseal Fusion, making sure one of them is at least Tree Koala, or Tree Otter or Sea Koala, and then you use Hexseal Fusion to count as the other fusion material, and go into your fusion monster. So it's really good. The Obedience School has a response that's like you can only special summon beast type monsters for the rest of the turn, but you just normal summon the Earth Hexseal Fusion, and your fusion monster is a beast type. So super, super good. We've got 2 copies of Green Baboon, Defender of the Forest, for when your opponent destroys your monsters by card effect, you just pay 1,000 life points and special summon this to the field. And 1 copy of Yellow Baboon, Archer of the Forest, who is basically the same thing, except when a monster is destroyed by battle, remove 2 cards from play and then special summon him onto the field. So really quite cool. Now for the final monster in the deck, I have just 1 copy of Swift Scarecrow for battle protection. Now moving on to the spells. Start with 3 copies of Ayers Rock Sunrise. This is the single greatest beast type card besides Obedience School to come out in a long, long time. It's basically a monster reborn from beasts with the extra effect of allowing you to decrease all monsters on your opponent's side of the field by 200 attack for every single beast type monster on the field at the time that you reborn that beast type. So you decrease it by 200 attack for every single one of them. And it's a non-targeting effect that affects pretty much everything your opponent controls. So it gets your opponent's monsters down to like manageable levels where you can then run over them with your baboons or your raccoons or other different beast type monsters you control. Next is 3 copies of Obedience School, which is pretty much the heart and the soul of this deck. As I said, you special summon 3 beast type monsters, level 2 or lower, from your deck to the field, and then you can only special summon beast type monsters for the rest of the turn, but you can still normal summon any kind of monster that you want. So it really just allows you to go through like so much stuff and be able to create so much value for your stuff. So you can special summon like any of them. So like as I mentioned, special summoning 3 monsters, including like a tree koala or a tree otter, and then normal summoning that card. But then you can also special summon 2 of them, and then Key Mouse. I forgot to mention Key Mouse is also a tuner, and go into a level 5 monster such as Thunder Unicorn or Naturia Beast. So Obedience School just really gives your deck a lot of options, and the deck would not be what it is today without 3 of them. The final card I have in here is a Chum Special, good old Wild Nature's Release, to increase the attack power of all your monsters and go to OTK. And the best part about it is if you use it on like a Sandeu or something that's destruction protective, then you're not going to have to destroy your monster at the end of the turn. All right, moving on to the trap cards now. We have 2 copies of Dust Tornado for its effect, and then 1 copy of Wabaku. And that is it for the main deck. I believe it is 40 cards. And now moving on to the extra deck. As I mentioned, we're running Z-Man and Frozen Fitzgerald, but we have a couple of other XYZ monsters in here that you could probably consider. So I currently have only 1 right now, but 1 copy of Ronin Raccoon Sandeu for his just fantastic ability. Special summon a token onto your side of the field, and then use that token's effect to increase its attack power. And he creates a Snapchat, and then when he has a token on the field, he cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. So even with untargeting and stuff, that can still be a monster that's very, very tough to get rid of. So that's Ronin Raccoon Sandeu. Next one is another card you haven't really seen in a while, and that's a copy of Gachigantetsu. Gachigantetsu, is the 400 attack boost monster. Special summon him in defense mode and just let him do his thing. Then we have 1 copy of Armored Kappa for the effects to increase his attack power or prevent his destruction. He has a little bit of staying power, so that's really awesome. And then I'm running 1 copy of Cavalry Centaurea for just basically bouncing back your opponent's monster. And this is not a targeting effect. It just returns the monster to the hand. So it doesn't matter what that monster is. Sky Cavalry is going to really help out with that. And the final right 2 I'm running is 1 copy of Cat Shark for when you get like those massive XYZ monsters. Cat Shark doubles the attack's power, so if you have 2 things to summon, you summon a Sky Cavalry, and then you also summon a Cat Shark. Cat Shark can double the attack power of the monster, which is super, super cool. Alright, now moving on to the Synchro Monsters. Starting off, our Synchro lineup is going to be the Fabled Unicor. When you have the same number of cards in your hand as your opponent, the Fabled Unicor allows you to negate pretty much everything they do. So it's a game of keeping your hand advantage the same as your opponent's so that you can just basically OTK into an unfettered field. Old Entity Hastor, mostly here for the level, but he also has a good effect. I thought about running Armory Arm, but in testing it wasn't really that good. And now, coming on for a trio that is one of my favorite to summon in the deck. I mean, I hated pulling him, but the combo of Thunder Unicorn, Voltic Bicorn, and Lightning Tricorn. Each of these monsters is actually really crappy, but they're just like a fun thing that just nobody sees coming. Like, you know, when is the last time you've ever seen anyone summon one of the 3 unicorns on you? So Thunder Unicorn's effect states that you can decrease the attack power of an opponent's monster by 500 attack for each monster you control until the end phase, but no other monsters can attack besides Thunder Unicorn. Yeah, not really that good. Voltic Bicorn has like a deck destruction effect, which when it's destroyed by battle or card effect, both players send the top 7 cards of their deck to the graveyard. Again, not really useful, doesn't really grant you any significant pluses. And then the last card is Lightning Tricorn, which when it's destroyed allows you to either special summon a Voltic Bicorn or Thunder Unicorn from your graveyard. So it's like you have to invest like 2 separate things. You have to invest in a Voltic or Thunder Unicorn, and then you have to go and invest again into a Lightning Tricorn. So not super good, but whenever I can summon these things and whenever I can beat my opponent with them, it's just there's no other feeling like it. So I run them in here basically for that surprise factor and that fun factor, and they cannot be beat by that. And then the next monster is 1 Junk Synchron because of our Junk Warriors. Thinking about bumping this up to 2 if I can, but currently right now I'm liking it at 1. And then the final 2 Synchros I'm running are 1 copy of Naturia Beast and 1 copy of Naturia Barkion. And these monsters are just basically in here for being things that can easily be summoned with Earth monsters. So you can easily summon Naturia Barkion with tuners, you can easily summon Naturia Beast. So depending on what you need, each of these will be equally useful to your goals. So that are these 2 cards. And for the final monster that I'm running in my extra deck right now is the Bellwether Fusion monster, Mr. Koala Koala himself. If you know anything about Order of Chaos, you probably saw this coming, but this is Koala Koala, and his effect is you can send 1 Beast-type monster from your hand to the graveyard, and then target 1 monster your opponent controls to destroy it. So he's kind of like a cool thing, and as I mentioned, this is a REIJI AKABA Raccoon deck, so believe it or not, you have to draw a very good hand to do it, but there is a way to get Koala Koala, a Synchro Monster, and an XYZ monster such as Ronin, Raccoons, and Dave on the field at the same time. If this video gets 5 likes, I will post that up and do an explanation on some combo videos. But yeah, so that's pretty much everything that I have for the deck right now. Do note that I'm still working on this deck, and this deck is going to be implemented into Mr. Christopher Quinn's Ojama deck. But I had a lot of fun recording this deck profile, and if you liked it, please feel free to give a like, comment, and subscribe to the Team Time Riders YouTube channel. And once again, this has been the Mermail Master with this Raccoon deck profile, and I'm signing out. Peace.